Oh snap. Here we are, day 2. We're just gonna jump straight into it. This is the fit today. This is the fit. Yeah, feeling blue today, but we're jumping straight into it. Not wasting no time. Day 2, ooh, got dark. Let's see, are we rolling? We are rolling. All right. Let's see, water, check. Water over here, check. Game time. Mission start. We're gonna do 20K steps. So the mistake I made yesterday was saying 30K steps. In actuality, we're doing 20K steps. It's about 1,000 to 1,200 calories burned, which is exactly what I was trying to go for, including the deficit I was talking about yesterday. So 1,200 calories plus 1,000 calories to 1,200 calories. So my mom just got here. So let's go ahead and start. I'll leave the garage open. What happened? Okay, sweet. Alrighty. I got you. Sweet. Got another potential subscriber. That's pretty exciting. Alrighty. So I wore this today because I'm not trying to get burned by the sun. Not trying to get ridiculous tan lines. Didn't do a physique check yet. I guess we'll have to just wait for that one. I know that'll be exciting. Today, I started the day off actually eating about 800 calories. So I'm about 400 calories left that I can eat for the rest of the day. But here's the thing, this walk will burn about 1,000 calories. So after finishing this walk, we're essentially back at 0 plus even 200 in the hole as well. So that's exciting. Today, I'm gonna try and take us through somewhat of a quiet trail. Right? There's obviously gonna still be cars between here and before we get to the trail, so just bear with me a little bit. I always gotta make sure that this thing is recording. Again, I am fearful that I do all of this talking, all this yapping, I get none of it on camera. I think I'll cry. For sure. So, am I gonna teach you anything today? More like we're just doing this together, and whatever comes out of my head, my brain, goes to you guys. So, just hopefully you pick up and you absorb whatever I say. Or you could just tune me out and we could just walk together. Either way, I'm happy that you're here for day 2. It's pretty exciting. Day 1 was pretty awesome. I had to go through the footage. Like I said, the big mistake that I made was it's not 30K, it's 20K steps, right? It's equivalent to 10 miles, right? With the 30K steps, it's just I don't even have enough battery. I don't have enough storage to actually film all of this. So yesterday, in that 3-hour session of recording, that took 80 gigabytes of space. Now, at the end of that video yesterday, I actually ran out of space. And to make space, I had to delete a lot of things, a lot of pictures and content and stuff like that ever since 2018. So I did the deep sweep. And I cleared it from recently deleted, so I'm essentially starting this video with about 84 gigabytes of space, which that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about that because I can actually record this and then post it in 4K. But if I post it in 720p, I think I can get probably an extra 2 hours of content. Hello, doggos. So, yeah, I don't want to give you crappy quality because then I don't know. I already think the content quality is pretty you know what I'm saying? I'm still starting out. But I don't want to make it even worse. You know what I mean? So you're getting 4K quality, giving you top-notch stuff, whatever I can. Again, let's go ahead and do a recording check to see if this is still going. Oh, we are good, baby. We are good. Temperature outside feels pretty good. Right before this, I had 2 cups of coffee. Then I also had some instant coffee because I felt that the 2 cups were enough. So I'm feeling a little bit wired. That's kind of what you want on these walks. I mean, it's just 10 miles. 10 miles, honestly. Once you do it enough, or once you walk, like, let's say like 5 miles, right? Walking it, it's not a problem. Running it, okay, that might be a problem there. You just get tired quicker. But when you walk 5 miles, think about it. If you lived in the city, right, like New York City, I'm pretty sure you're smashing 5 miles without even really knowing about it. Just because, remember, in New York, your vital mode of transportation is walking everywhere. Anybody ever pick up the correlation that in New York, there aren't that many, there are a lot of fit people in New York. All right. Pretty sure like obesity rates over there have to be slightly lower than every other state. If you're in Florida, a lot of things are far from each other. So expect more people to drive to places versus in New York, Staten Island, the Bronx, all those places over there. I believe, you know, because I've been there a couple of times. And, you know, if you live in a place where people are just walking everywhere, chances are they're going to be a little bit skinnier. They're going to be a little bit more fit. They're going to have a little bit more toned legs. So, city life, that's a pro right there. Would I move to New York? Well, one, if I could afford it, you know, maybe. That would be a pretty cool adventure in life. You know, I hear New York is dangerous. Yeah, you're going to have danger wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to just wake up, head down to the bodega, get myself a chopped cheese, you know, start the day off right like that. What is it, like $5, $7? Can't go wrong with that. This guy's cool. He has a little bicycle with the speaker on it, and he also has, I believe, like, he's doing DoorDash, so he has like a cooler in the back, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just imagine that. If you lived in the city life, I don't really think you need a car to make money, because you could be a local, like, you know, Uber Eats, bicycle rider. You could just deliver food without having the car. Like over here, when you live in Florida, since the places are so far from each other, chances are you're gonna have to drive. And chances are it'll be a little bit harder to make money, like doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, stuff like that, because of the distance that you have to traverse. But just imagine that in New York, then you can make a killing. And maybe, just maybe, the way that they tip, I don't know how the tipping actually works over there. I really don't. We're making a turn right away. But yeah, there are a lot of places I do want to go to. I actually haven't had the chance. I'm 25, still young, still trying to build something. This is like my form of building. I know you got to spend your younger years grinding, which is actively what I'm trying to do right here. You know, maybe like when you're 30, maybe if you get lucky, you know, you can get a little bit of pocket change and go see the world. You know, hopefully I'm not too late for that. Hopefully when I get to 30, you know, I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to go like Greece, Cuba, South America, explore, bring this camera around. You know what I mean? So I think it's really exciting to go and travel around a lot of places, foreign countries. I think that's really, really cool. Did I have the liberty to do it? Yeah, I actually did. My parents, growing up, they loved to go on cruises. So what would we do? Pretty often, went on like 10, 12 cruises. I don't really know the exact number, but we went on a lot. And let me tell you, those were some really fun times. I would be getting in trouble on those cruise ships, let me tell you. It's just the atmosphere, you know. I like to play, you know, actually, rewind. They were just like these little, like, growing up, since I was like younger, there were like these youth groups that you can like join on the cruise ships. The youth groups were up to no good. We would do like silent library, truth or dare, spin the bottle, stuff like that. For some reason, I always did the most outlandish dares. And I would also come up with some really crafty dares too, that would end up getting some of the players in trouble, hurt, which I feel horrible for. But if we're talking about in terms of entertainment, pretty epic. But when I was on those cruise ships, I also liked to play the sports. They had the competitions, man. You can go on the top deck, you can play some soccer, you can play some basketball, some table tennis, like really cool stuff. Compete. There was even one cruise ship where I had the liberty to go ice skating on the bottom of the cruise ship. I was like, ice skating on a cruise ship? That's pretty cool. I think it was one of the Norwegian ships. So I tried ice skating for the first time on a cruise ship. It's like, wow, how the heck did they put all that ice, you know, on the cruise ship? You know what I mean? Like, the setup for that must be insane. All right, we're going through uncharted territory right now. We are just moving. All right, trying to keep up the pace here because I don't want to run out of space. You know what I'm saying? I know it takes about 3 hours to do these 20K steps. So we're keeping a little fast pace today. All right, we're gonna keep that calorie burn nice and steady. Let's go ahead and boost that metabolic burn. Let's get these feet active. Ooh. So there's a trail here somewhere that I have to locate. Now I'm not gonna look at the map because I think I was able to pinpoint where it was. I have to look for a street called Avita, right? And it should be next to one of these hotels, right? Not that one in particular, but let's go ahead and cross. But I have to do a little bit of discovery. So with a little bit of luck on my side, I hope I find it. It's like some nature trail. And if I find it, that's gonna be pretty sick. All right, a little bit of peace and quiet. Let's get away from these cars. Because if you were there for yesterday's episode, you know how hard it is to get some peace and quiet on these walks. Obviously, I never start off at the best possible spot. I usually just leave my house and I go from there. I got some heat burps coming out. That's pretty shocking. So first hotel right here. It's an interesting logo. Looks like a lime. Half of a lime as the logo. This trail looks like they never cut the grass. You know, if you're thinking about spot up jobs to offer to people, for example, what I used to do is I used to go door to door, knock on people's house, offer them pressure washing for their driveway. If I looked at their driveway and it looked like poo, I would knock. I'd be like, hey, I can elevate your driveway. I can tell you what I can do. Let me show you some pictures, stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, I'll get a no. But if you just go long enough, and you're okay with just hearing no constantly, you're bound to get a yes. That was pretty good. I would charge anywhere from $199 to $250 for a driveway. You know, there are some people that can do that all day long. You know, I gave it a try, but eventually I stopped. I also did painting for houses. That was something that was more of like a venture. I had very minimal experience. The experience I did have was because one of my friends brought me to go do construction on one of his dad's job sites. So I picked up painting, I picked up a little bit of construction, and then I tried to go out and do it myself. Which, believe it or not, I was able to charge 3 times more than pressure washing. I'd get $600 jobs, $800 jobs, and then the profit would be pretty up there. I'm talking about take home would be like $500, $600 in the pocket, right? For a little bit of work. There was one guy that wanted me to paint his entire house, which actually we did with the help of one of my friend's fathers. He had one of those machines that you could just spray the paint pretty rapidly, right? So it was like a house that was like a trailer. So got a clean, like I think it was like $1,200 from that job. Supplies cost like $200. Take home $1,000. You know what I'm saying? But I split the profit pretty right down in the middle, because since my friend's dad was just an expert, he was like, yo, let me go ahead and do this. You guys keep the profit. So all I had to do that day was sit, watch, get whatever supplies, prep the house, put some tape on the windows, put some sheets on the windows so that when he's spray painting, he doesn't get it on the window. You know, if you get paint on the window, I don't know what the process of removing that, but it shouldn't be too hard. But we covered up all the windows. He did his job. It only took him about an hour and a half for something that was going to take probably me and my friend to paint the entire house. He did it in 2 hours, a one-man job. I was pretty impressive. But his dad is the one that also brought me to those job sites where he was working on restoring I believe it was a restaurant. He was turning it into like a little business. So, if your friends offer opportunities to go and pick up a skill, a trade, you know, at this time, I wasn't getting paid for it. I just went because I wanted to learn how to do the things that they were doing. Because you have to sometimes work for free, but essentially, if you're working for free, you're getting something in return, and knowledge, right? Work for free, give people your time, the opportunity, and in return, you'll gain knowledge, and with that knowledge, you'll be able to go out there and do things on your own. So, it's food for thought right there. I know sometimes you want to get paid for the work that you put in, but sometimes the best payment that you could receive is knowledge. I think Ty Lopez talks about his books like that. We have the same last name, but you know, I'm nowhere like him right now. The guy loves his books, loves his knowledge. Holy smokes. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was just one bike that made all that noise. Impressive. Okay, we're getting somewhere, I think, already. Since this is about 19 minutes of recording, I think that should be our first hour, our first mile. And a little bit more, because I think it's like 15 minutes for a mile. but I am going at a little bit faster of a pace. Alright, I'm feeling the core. Right? I feel the core. I don't know if you can see it through the shirt. Right? But all this walking, I think it definitely helps my posture. Right? Sometimes we like to lean forward a lot. I think I catch myself doing that way too often. But walking, shoulders back, and maybe if you have a bag with a little bit of weight on it, it helps you go and fix your posture. You know, there are devices that you can like put on. I've never tried them myself. There are devices that you could put on that like correct your back. They bring your shoulders back for you, like in a strap type of manner. I think those might be really cool. You know, if you have the liberty to buy one, I say go for it. You know, because if you have good posture, I believe that adds like an extra 1 to 2 inches on your height. So if you're like me, you're 5'6", or anything below, we'll take all the inches that we can get. You know, I know pull-ups help, or I don't even think it's pull-ups, it's dead hangs, right? So dead hangs, they're really beneficial because just hanging, right, helps your body decompress it's the spine, right? Sometimes we're so tense throughout our day, sometimes we're hunched over, that a little bit of decompression can bring tons of alleviation on our body. So I'm guilty. I don't be stretching in the morning like I should be doing. So to make up for it, I do go to the gym. I do like to hang on the bar. It's literally just, it's just that simple. It's just you're hanging. Do like a 15 second hold, a 20 second hold. And man, you're gonna feel your spine just elongate. And it's a great type of feeling. It's a good type of alleviation. I've also seen shoes that could increase your height. I actually had a pair of Balenciagas, right? I don't even know if they were Balenciagas. They were called Triple S, right? They were shoes that added like 3 inches to your height. I don't know if it was Balenciagas. I forgot. You know, maybe if I remember this another time, I'll mention the exact shoe. But it was like one of those expensive pairs of shoes. And 3 inches to your height, super significant. Super significant. It had a very crazy sole. But, you know, it's funny is I never ever wore the shoe ever. Maybe because it was just too expensive to begin with. And you kind of buy things, wow, holy crap. There was a smell that I smelled. It smelled bad. I just bought it as an investment, and I was able to sell it off. I never wore it, right? Because when you wear shoes, you lose the dead stock factor, right? And dead stock just basically means it's like brand new, like unworn. And I wanted to keep those specific shoes brand new. So knowing that it added all those inches, it kind of hurt to spend all that money and not really wear the shoe. But there are shoes like that. But there are also sole inserts that you can buy that also adds like an extra 1 to 2 inch. And it won't be as expensive as like one of those like luxury brand shoes that do the same thing. Yeah, you could buy that. Would I do it right now? I actually haven't thought about it until being on this walk. You know, if it's something that, you know, I never really had a problem with my height. I gotta make do with what I got. Being 5'6", you know, some people consider it short. I like it. I actually like it. I like my build. I know there's pros and cons of being tall versus being short. Like being tall, you're gonna have this dominance factor to you that like it's just always with you. Like tall people generally are probably perceived as being more dominant than shorter people. But being short has its advantages. I think if you're able to pack on muscle, being shorter means you could pack on muscle and it'd be more noticeable than if you were taller. It'll probably take a little bit longer to build muscle because since you're taller, you had to add more muscle all over your frame. That's going to be more time, more investment, more everything in general versus being my size, 5'6", and you could pack on muscle and, you know, like people would notice that way more sooner than if you were taller and you were packing on muscle. Another pro of being short, I mean, you don't really hit your head on the top of the doorway. I think that's amazing. I don't ever have to worry about that. You know, for my tall people out there, and I know some really tall people, and I know that they have to go and duck under the doorway just to get through, you know. That being part of my life, for the trade-off of being tall, dominant looking, I don't know, you kind of have to weigh your options out. I'm pretty okay with being short. Let's go ahead and wow, that guy caught me completely off guard. Holy smokes. Maybe on this camera you guys saw him, but dude, I did not hear him until he was right here. That's absolutely nuts. So I think I'm arriving around the place that I was telling you guys that the nature trail is somewhere around here. Also, here's another thing. I'm gonna try and do this recording all in one take because I had to split up yesterday's video into 2 parts. And that's not something I wanted to do. Let me tell you, this is all gonna be uploaded raw. No edits, no nothing. So if I make a mistake like how I did yesterday, I'm just gonna have to eat it. You know, with the 30K steps in the beginning, telling people that, even though the actuality is 20K steps, I'm just gonna have to eat that, right? Like 20K steps is great. That's a lot of calories that you're burning. About 500, 600 of calories that are coming from that are directly from fat. That's pretty damn significant. And then when you pair it up with a deficit, holy smokes, you are burning a lot of calories. So imagine this, if you burn 1,200 calories, right? And then you eat 1,200 calories, right? You know what that means? You know what that means? You're gonna be burning a lot of calories for the day. So if your basal, your TDE, total daily expenditure is like 2,500 calories, right? That's how much your body requires to operate. You eat 1,200 calories, you burn 2,500, you eat 1,200 calories, you burn 1,200 calories, and then your total daily expenditure, what your body needs to operate, is 2,500 calories. You're basically at zero. Then the day goes by and it requires 2,500 calories, so it's gonna pull it from your body. If you don't think that's sweet, I don't know what else to tell you. How you guys doing? So I think I'm getting here. Now I have to find the street. This is Park Coronich Drive. Now I don't really think this is where I'm supposed to go, but something tells me that this is the place. So I'm gonna trust my gut and I'm gonna go right through because I see Trip by Wyndham Lakes. All right, this is that part that I was telling you. I kind of have to wing it because I don't want to stop the video recording and make another 2-part series because those uploads are going to be separate, right? So yesterday's upload was, the first part took about 2 hours. The second upload took about 4 hours. They both came out in 4K, which is awesome. But editing, when I was moving everything into iMovie to edit, you also have to have an additional 80 gigabytes of space to save those new edits that you made, because iMovie just references from your camera roll, and I had no space. I used up all my space. So if I was going to save my edited version of the movie I made, it would cost another 80 gigabytes. Something I didn't know until I ran into the problem. And I deleted my favorite app too, right after that. I was playing RuneScape. The thing about RuneScape though, is it's 5 gigabytes of precious space that I needed. In order to do a lot of the functions, I had to delete RuneScape. That was a heartbreaker. Let me just go ahead and show you. We're moving just fine. Right? Should be able to run into this nature trail. I hope I do. I hope I didn't take the wrong turn, because this nature trail is exactly 5 miles. And guess what? When you're walking 20K miles, right? Think of it like this. Each mile is about 2,000 steps, right? So if we multiply 5 miles times 2,000, you get 10,000 steps, right? So when you walk back, guess what? You take another 5 miles, multiply it by 2,000 steps, you get another 10,000. So what's that grand total? You get about 20K steps, right? This is like the perfect count, right? You can't get any better than this, right? And the beauty of this trail, it's gonna be silent, at least I hope. I don't wanna tell you one thing and it'd be completely different. We're making steady progress here. Just trying to figure out my way around. Now, I can only imagine. I'm in a place that, I'm pretty familiar with. Now, I can't imagine being anywhere else. There's a lot of dragonflies around me. I can't really imagine being anywhere else, like another country, and trying to figure out everything. Whoa, the sprinkler system just turned on. Ah, that's incredible. We just dodged that. The last thing I want to smell like is sewer water. That's the last thing I want to smell like. It gets on your clothes. Next thing you know, bugs are attracted to you. There is just a crispy wilderness smell here. Like, I smell like the trees, the bark, all this leafage, right? It smells very naturey over here. And man, sometimes the best kick that you can get out of life is just stepping outside and smelling nature. That puts you in a very grateful perspective. I'm pretty appreciative of all this leafage that I'm around. See the wildlife, look at that. It's great. It's great. Now this trip, man, dude, the scents that I'm getting, man, they're attacking from all different directions. I'm smelling a whole bunch of things. Is this what it feels like to get, trapped in a rainforest? I don't think it would be that crazy. But just imagine the animals that are inside that rainforest. But also think about it. If you're in a rainforest, do you think you could survive in there? Because it's constantly wet. Right? How am I going to light a fire? Pretty sure like all the trees are damp. Or, the moisture in the air, the moisture in the forest. Like, how can you get a fire going? Where are you going to find dry sticks? That'll probably be like your toughest challenge. There'll probably be water all over the place. But remember, to make sure that water is drinkable, you got to boil it first. Or, if you are fortunate enough, you could have the life straw. Now, that's just a little device that automatically filters whatever water you're drinking. All right. So I believe the first aid, the Red Cross, they distribute that, right, to third world countries that are going through like famines and like dehydration, right? So, but I also think you could pick it up on Amazon. All right, let's get a little trail check. There's a tennis center, golf academy. It's pretty fancy stuff. I'm not really big on golf. I have tried it. Golf is surprisingly really technical. It's all about your swing, your hips, your hands. Is it something I like to do? Maybe given enough practice and time. I just don't play golf like that. I don't really have friends that go golfing or invite me to go golfing. So it's not really on my radar, you know. I'm a very simple guy. I like to play basketball. See, I'm trying to look for the trail because a trail looks like it could just be anywhere at this point. I'm just worried that I miss it. All right, and then I continue walking and then I reach a dead end. So let's go. Whoa, I almost slipped. So the bottom of my shoes have absolutely no grip. That's just because I walk a lot, I run a lot, and I do a bunch of things. Maybe this might be the entrance. Oh, okay. All right, so we're on a wooden walkthrough. This is a good sign. I think we are starting to make some progress. Hopefully this is the trail. This feels like a good sign. This is what it looks like. Nothing too crazy. But remember that at the end of the day, we're just trying to get our steps in, right? And a nice quiet environment so I can yap a lot. But here's a nice little hotel over here. And that's pretty cool. And I knew it. But let's go ahead and look one more time. This little walkthrough comes to an end. Interesting. Did I just get jebaited? I think I probably have. For a second, I got really excited. So we're gonna just keep going. Because there's no reason to stop. There's no reason to whine. Again, I see clouds. They're a little dark. They're a little gray. Wait a second. Look at this, man. You've reached. Oh. Okay. Alrighty. Registered golfers only. Interesting. The thing is should I ask for help? Because I see this gate. Let me just take a quick look right here. 4T. 4T? Like 40 or 4T? I don't know. We're gonna have to probably phone a friend here. Because I think I could walk this trail, but last thing I want to do is go off course. I want to find this trail so we can hit these steps in a manner that is accurate. You know, I don't want to have to guess. You know, if we go above 20K steps, you know, the more the merrier. So you can't be mad at that. Let's see. Oh, wow. These squirrels like to keep their distances. Yesterday, the squirrels were all up on us. Ooh, hello. You're doing good. Hey, is there a trail around here? A trail?
They took it down.
They took it down?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
You can keep following this way.
Yeah.
There's like kind of like a mini trail around the pool in the front.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Hey, I'll take it.
Perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sweet. You heard that? So they took down the trail that we were looking for. Interesting. But we're gonna make do with what we have. We are gonna make do with what we have. Sometimes the plan doesn't always go to fruition, but we make do with what we have. All right. So, Avenida de Leon. What are we, in the Renaissance? I don't know. I was actually really interested in finding that trail. But why cry over spilt milk? Even though I wouldn't mind shedding a tear. The way I can do this and time it correctly is by constantly looking at the time and seeing if we're around the 2 hour and 50 to 3 hour mark. Now, that's just a good guideline for me because that's about how long it took yesterday to finish 20,000 steps. We're actually like 20,500 steps, so 3 hours on the dot. Seems to be pretty close. Sidewalk closed. Registered golfers only. That might be a problem. If I start talking to them about how I feel about golf, I don't think they would really like me. Who knows? But the golfer trail does look pretty cool. Par 5, 4? I don't know. You tell me what that means. The golfing lingo, I don't really get it. I know there's some of you that can tell me all about it. Probably show me a couple of things about a good swing. Interesting. They're like little shields. Nothing too crazy here. But we are just in a big hotel. But here's the thing. I don't know if I really want to stay out here. And my mind jumps from place to place. So I think what I'll do is give this a nice little loop. We're still collecting steps at the end of the day. And it's still fairly quiet out here. So we are honestly smooth sailing. We are honestly smooth sailing. The only difference is I don't really smell that smell I was smelling earlier. I was telling you guys, I don't really smell it anymore. Wow. You know, I wonder how much they pay to keep these grass looking that fresh. Obviously, this piece of grass looking a little dead, but that over there is looking pretty fresh. Somebody has to get paid a pretty penny to be doing that. I know they patch up the grass. I know they do all that good stuff. Interesting. Yeah, interesting place. What we're gonna do is we're gonna not complete this path, right? Even though it looks really, really nice, it's part of a golf course. Should we go that way? No. We are actually gonna do a full 180. Walk back and let's get out of here. But let's go take a quick shortcut. Hopefully I don't get lost in here. That'll be embarrassing. Ice machine right there. Utility based. You know, I honestly didn't even know this resort was here. Next to my house. It's kind of like a little hidden castaway. Interesting. Wow. I guess everybody that flies to Orlando books these little hidden getaways and then they head to the parks. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's pretty cool. I see vacation shirts over. I see really fancy cars. This is definitely not the area I would probably book in. It's not my speed. Here's one thing though. I am not too far from Disney Springs. On foot, from my house. I know if I was to tell my family, let's go walk to Disney Springs, they'll look at me like I'm some type of crazy person. But here's the little thing. Disney Springs from my house is only 5 miles away. Now, that's pretty crazy. Because I would most definitely walk over there. Whoa. Wow. I'm trying to make haste. Trying to get us out of here. I'm the captain of this ship. I am steering this boat in the right direction. On that note, what does it take to get your boater's license? What does it take to drive a cruise ship? Imagine the responsibility of having thousands of passengers and you're the captain of the ship. And all you have to do is just drive the boat. Is it like a team-based thing? Is it like a one steering wheel controls everything? I'm not no professional navigator, but I would certainly love to know, how do you do that? How do you deal with the pressure? I know there's a story about a man who was a captain who did somehow capsize the ship. I think it was something about bringing the ship too close to the shore. And I believe he struck some rocks and then the ship capsized. There's something happened. Now that's scary. Now it makes me think twice about going on cruises, but it also has me intrigued. Like, do you have like sonar systems that can ping rocks underneath the ship? I don't know, you tell me. You know, if there's any boating or cruise ship captains that could give a nice little answer, or maybe ChatGPT. But experience is a whole different ballgame than ChatGPT giving me the answers. ChatGPT always gives me the answers for everything. All right. Though, how do I know it's reliable? Well, trusting a lot of my faith in AI. You gotta understand, a lot of the walking that I'm doing is based off the direction of what AI told me. Right, the whole idea behind, our body burning more calories from fat just walking. I mean, I researched that just from ChatGPT. I got some pretty good results already. So, I think ChatGPT has my back, but I know not for everything, I think it would be also really cool to know how it is to pilot a plane. I think that's pretty cool. Because imagine you had access to one of those planes that are like the duality type of planes where you could fly and then you could land in water. Well, if you come to think about it, I think all planes can land in water. Just some planes can land more effectively in water. They can float. They're built for it. Obviously, all planes can land in water, but I don't know if you'll get the outcome that you're looking for. Right? I want a smooth landing so I can potentially land off coast of a private island, head over there to the private island from the plane, scoop up some coconuts, mission complete, head back on the plane, and then head back inland with the coconuts. Now, if we're talking about a perfect day, that sounds like the perfect day for me. I don't know how many people would agree. They might use the plane for something else. Now, we've made it back on this little trail. All right. This is pretty exciting because we are making rapid pace. We are 50 minutes into recording, which is looking great because I think we are almost a third of the way of completing this walk. That's exciting. That is very exciting. I hope maybe you guys are learning something. You guys just have a curious mind. The things that I have questions to, maybe you could ping the answer to it on this walk. Hey man, that's a double-edged sword right there. We're walking together, you're getting some answers from the questions that I have. That's pretty sick. Here's a tennis court. You know, they said that there was a basketball court here. Oh, it's over there. Holy smokes. I'm over here walking and not knowing that the path kind of ended. So now I have to jimmy my way through. Let's get to the other side so I can get on the sidewalk. And this is the sidewalk that smelled amazing. Let's go ahead and hop over this shrubbery. All right, we're looking good. Beautiful. You see what I'm saying? I love this. This is actually really, really nice. Let's go ahead and get some water in the system because it's real easy to forget. Whoa. Just got a 4K shot of getting some rehydration. Ooh. Yeah. Oh man, look at those trees. Those are some tall, lengthy trees. Interesting, right? Interesting the way they're built. I'm pretty impressed. This is beautiful stuff right here. So I've went to Jamaica. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to Belize, Dominican Republic, a couple other islands too. Mexico as well. Like, I do have a little bit of a travel journal. All right. My favorite places out of all those places, I think it has to be Dominican Republic is pretty much up there, right? Because we went on this giant like truck that sat like 30 people, super big tires and everything, and we're just driving all around Dominican Republic, right? And I remember being younger, seeing kids go to school. They were walking through the mountains that we were on, and I don't know, just seeing their way of life. They were coming out of very, very tiny houses. I'm talking about constructed of like just wood, you know, ready to go to school, walking this journey. And I'm talking about those kids were putting in miles. And I'm over here on a tourist truck, seeing them do their journey just to get to school. It's pretty inspiring, that is pretty inspiring. It also tells me how fortunate, most people over here are, you know what I'm saying? Because those paths, they look like they were tiring. And I was in a truck, and I was watching them putting in the work. The thing about that truck that I was on, for some reason, the people on the truck don't have dollars, which the kid would run right behind the truck and catch all the dollars. For me personally, I like to hand the kids, the money to their hands. But hey, not everybody's like me. I'd probably tell the guy, hey, you pull over real quick, see all the kids there, hand them some money if I could, and go get yourself something refreshing to drink, some really nice hot meal, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have a conversation, maybe walk with them. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things that you just sit in your experience. But, you know, we all have our own agendas and we all want to do our own things. That was just something that popped up in my head. When I was in Mexico, we took a really cool speedboat to a private island. Man, that was so cool. It was like a $90. I'm over here acting like I paid for it, but it was like a $90 excursion. All right, so it was me, my mom, my dad, my sister, got on a $90 boat. It was a really fast speedboat. The guy that was driving was an animal because he was turning that speedboat like we weren't gonna fling off the boat. He would take it was a really fast boat. Like, I'm talking about like just as fast as a car going like 70 miles per hour. You know what I mean? Like breakneck speeds. 70 miles may not be breakneck speeds to a lot of people, but sheesh, when you're taking a hardcore turn, thank God we all had seatbelts. Because I promise you, it would have been like fish being tossed out of a bucket. That's the best way I can explain it to you. And he would get us all soaked on the boat too. He would take those turns, create like massive waves, and everybody in the back would get soaked. And we were at the very back of the boat. It's a really cool experience. We went. The guy took us probably like 15 miles off coast, right, to a private island. And you know what's really cool about this private island is that there was a ship, right? It was all rusted. It was nasty. It was a huge ship, right? Half of the ship is out of the water. The other half is out. Freaky looking ship, right? And it's just off the coast of that private island that we were at. And you could see people climb that rusted down ship, right? I'm telling you, it was rusty from the top to the bottom. You could see people climb all the way up. Now imagine you get a cut on it, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's tetanus and tinnitus. I always get confused with the two. I'd be so afraid. I'd be so afraid of climbing it and getting, a cut and then not knowing. You know, I know those cuts can be deadly. You know, I'm not too sure, but I think somebody told me a story about, I think it was Bob Marley. He stepped on a nail, right? And he didn't go get it treated. It was like a rusty nail. And that was like one of the contributing factors as to why he died. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. It's just I have some family members that like to tell me stuff, and, you know, I didn't really fact check this one. I'm telling it to you guys. So if you guys tell me that I'm wrong, by all means, I am wrong. So they were climbing the ship, and they were jumping off on the very, very top. Dude, these guys had balls. I'm talking about insane balls. Because to jump off of that ship, that's already tall and scary, and to land right by the ship, even though the ship is not moving, like, just think about just being in close proximity of that ship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the rust affects the water. I don't know if there's like wildlife on the bottom of the ship, which there probably might be. You know what I'm saying? If you watch, like, I don't know if it was Finding Nemo or like Shark Tales or something like that. Or like, you know, sharks like to be in like dark places and stuff like that. They could be inside the very rooms in the hull of that ship. So I'd be freaking out. So you won't catch me jumping off of a rusty ship anytime soon. But for the people that do, a small investment of getting those shoes that are like waterproof, man, nah, you can go some distance. But remember, you still have to climb that ship with your hands too. So you don't want to injure your hands. You don't want to get a cut out there. Because who knows where the closest first aid kit is. I have no idea. Right? But if I had a GoPro, you know, and if I had some balls, I mean, I'd go ahead and put that GoPro on my head and I'd jump off that ship. And then once I get to the water, once I land in the water, I'm swimming as far away from that ship as possible, because I just want to let the world know that I did it and I got away safely. That's just me though. Not everybody Not everybody is a baby like me. Some of you guys watching this video might just have courageous balls of steel. I went skydiving already. I think that was pretty legit. I did the slingshot. I did the sky coaster. We have a sky coaster over here at Florida. Like, I've did some scary stuff. I think skydiving is something that everybody has to do. It's like one of those things that once you do it, your mindset is changed forever. Your whole perspective on life is changed. All right, so do these crazy things. You know what's on my bucket list? I want to go ice climbing. I want to go have pickaxes, and I also want to record it too. I want to have like these pickaxes, and I want to jam the ice. I want to use that to pull myself up. Jam the other one. Pull myself up. I believe there's also gear for the feet. I believe that you can have like spiked shoes. So I'll kick into the icy rock, get some grip, and keep climbing up. You know how sick that would be? To say you're a real life ice climber, like if you played Super Smash Bros. You know, the ice climbers get it done. The only difference is I'm not going to be holding no hammer. One of the cheesiest characters in Super Smash Bros. Let me go ahead and put that out there. They had a move called the wobble. If you get grabbed, there is this certain move that can allow you to get chain grabbed over and over and over again. So that can always cost you a stock. But let's get away from Super Smash Bros. Because this walk ain't gonna walk itself. It's actually a really nice day. Let's go ahead and look at the clouds. I know some people might disagree, but I actually like the way those clouds are set up, right? The clouds are clouding, right? Those clouds, I don't really like. Those clouds, I like, because look, just look how nice it is, right? I know the sun is behind those clouds, right? So it's absorbing a lot of that light, a lot of that heat that would go right into this shirt. That's interesting. But man, those clouds over there kind of look like the Toy Story clouds or the Windows XP clouds. Tell me now, right? Is it gonna rain? I don't know. A little bit of drizzle will go a long way. One thing I also realized is this hat has to go into the washing machine because I smell adventure on this hat, and adventure probably doesn't smell like what you think adventure smells like. Sudao in Spanish, sudao. Now you can go ahead and like research what that actually translates to. The hat definitely has an adventurous smell in it. So remind me when I get home to put this hat in the washing machine. But look, the thing about this hat is this hat has been with me ever since the start of doing these steps, right? It's got a quick core activation. I don't really know if you can see it, but my core feels nice and activated right here on this walk, right? When you have your whole body working in unison, so the core with the legs, these walks feel great. They do. So yeah, this hat has been with me in the start of this entire journey. Now, I found this hat, right? This hat was actually in the bathroom of a Chipotle. Yeah, I know. Why are you wearing somebody else's hat? Here's the thing. You come across a lot of hats. You wear them. Sometimes you just don't connect with the hat. This hat I connected with. I'm actually pretty proud of connecting with the hat. I have another hat. It says Florida on it, but it just doesn't catch the vibe. Let's go ahead and look at this. That's a really interesting store. Burgers and brews. Pretty interesting, but I'm not interested. I know some people on these walks. Here's the beauty of it. When you're doing these walks, it gives you more room to go and eat. Because look, if your goal is to not really lose weight, but you just want to keep your shape and you want to have the liberty to eat more, then go on a walk. Go on a walk. Because this extra 1,000 calories, if your goal is not for weight loss and your goal is just to be fit and in shape and you just want to have a body that works functionally, then look, use these walks as a way to increase the threshold of how many calories you can eat. Because completing this walk will give you a burn of about 1,000 to 1,200 calories. So you could be smart. You could use this walk, use about 600 of those calories for extra food in your system. That's all up to you. And you could still maintain a pretty sizable deficit too. 600 calories, like everybody talks about being in a 500 calorie deficit, right? So you're gonna be in that deficit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna increase your metabolic burn, right? When you go home after finishing these walks, your body is just gonna be in a state of heightened burn. The percentage, because everything's percentage here, 5%, 10%, it varies person to person. I can't really tell you what you'll be in, but I can tell you, you will be burning a little bit more calories versus days where you don't walk at all. So you get your initial burn from the calories from doing the walk, and then you get an afterburn effect. Now, that's a pretty sick deal. If you ask me, that 2-for-1 deal, I'll take it all day long. Let's go ahead and get a time check. We are at an hour and 6 minutes. It's pretty good. If you ask me, that's excellent. All right, so I'd say about an additional 24 minutes, and we could really turn this boat around and start heading back. All right? But something about this walk is feeling a lot more natural. I feel like the conversation is just me to you. All right? Yeah, I really haven't heard you say anything, but you are a listener. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate your attention. I'm gonna walk the street. Hopefully this gentleman stops. Excellent. Though I do get the urge right now to stop and go grab a Celsius, but I do not have the means to do that, so I won't. Right? That's why I tripled down on coffee today, because I knew that I was gonna need it. And you don't have to be like me. You don't have to drink a substantial amount of caffeine. Some people work just fine without the caffeine. Am I one of those people? I think I used to be one of those people that worked fine without the caffeine. Definitely in high school, I hated coffee. I just didn't like it. You know, I did used to see a lot of people in my classroom drink a ton of coffee. And that addiction starts early. I started drinking coffee after. I used to trade stocks, right? I used to wake up super early. And I don't trade stocks anymore because it's just, I lost money. But I used to wake up super early. And addiction, I think, really started there for me, because you have to be focused about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the market opens. Woo. Hello, hello. Buddy right there, going on a nice drive today. But you have to be up early, attentive to the chart. You have to pre-plan your trades. And I don't know about you guys, that's some tough work. You have to be on top of the news, because news can come out any second and it can change the direction of whatever particular stock you're looking at. Now, the thing about that is I traded in a way that was like go big or go home. And boy, did I go home a lot. You wake up early, ideally 2 hours before market open, and then you plan your trades. Hello, hello. Very strong scent. Very, very strong scent. Not of cigarettes, but of perfume. Again, sometimes people will look at you, you say hello. Sometimes people won't respond to you. But the thing about it is at least you did. At least you acknowledged them. Again, as you can see from yesterday, I'm still working on that. I'm still working on acknowledging everyone. I want to do my best to let everybody know that I see you. I acknowledge that you're here. But some people can go days without being acknowledged, and you just never know. You might say hello to the person that really probably needed that hello, and a simple hello can change the outlook of their day. They can feel less invisible. I know how important that is because I used to be one of those people too. I always felt like I was invisible sometimes. Some people could also just be too stuck on their phone. Now, somebody just passed me right now, but the thing is, they're just way too into their phone. Now, that just might be a way to cope with not wanting to say hello or come out of your shell, or maybe you had a long day and all you really care about is giving yourself the care that you think you need. For everybody, that might be different. Some people, they don't want to be disturbed. They just rather be on their phone. Social batteries could run dry, so I understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's situational. You could try and open up to everybody, but just understand that some people's social batteries are just not going to be like yours and everybody else. Some people might not be ready to hear that hello. They just might not be ready to respond. And that is absolutely okay. You just have to understand that. I'm learning it as we go. And do you guys think the fit is cool or what? It's just a long sleeve. My mom gave me this one, right? She told me she used it for work. I'm like, wow, wait a second, I'm sweaty. I didn't even notice that. I'm working up a sweat out here, and I didn't even know. It's pretty sick. Let's go ahead and flush out that water I just drank. It went right through me. I promise you, it just went right through me. What music do you like? I like the Bee Gees. My dad put me onto that, the Bee Gees. I like EDM. I like Brazilian funk. Holy crap. Wow. What a music genre. Brazilian funk is really a pivotal type of music I listen to because the amount of energy that's in those beat drops are insane. I think they could cure cancer. They are crazy. The emotions I get from it, let me tell you, when I ran my half marathon, I was listening to Brazilian funk. I'm telling you, I felt every beat in my feet. I just kept on moving. Right? But everybody has their taste. I haven't really found a genre that I could tell you I don't really like. I can't be one of those people that tell you I don't really like country music. Here's the thing, I just haven't gave it the time of day to go and listen to some country music. I just haven't did that, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I hate country music. What could happen here is somebody give me some good recommendations. I could go ahead and listen, maybe put on a cowboy hat if need be. But I like my Spanish music. I like my bachata, my salsa, my merengue. My parents are both Puerto Rican, right? But I did grow up in Florida, so I sound just like the way I sound right now. I think your environment has a really big impact on your personality, for sure. Let's go ahead and get a quick trail check. Let's look at that sun. That sun is about to come out. You can tell. It's a very wide pavement. Look how small my steps are, and then look how big this trail is. I like that. Very nice. So we are actually closing in on Disney Springs, believe it or not. We shouldn't be too far from it. I'm thinking from here to Disney Springs, we're looking at about, I'd say a good clean 2 miles from Disney Springs. Now, how exciting would that be if I just take us all the way to Disney Springs? Now, how exciting would that be if I run out of space to record all of that? Super exciting, right? If I had just made a tweak in this trail I probably could have made it to Disney Springs, but maybe I'm just yapping and I could just make it to Disney Springs now. It really just depends. Because remember, 3 hours of recording time is about 80 gigabytes. Because remember, I'm shooting this in 4K. And we are at an hour and 15 minutes. Remember when I told you, our turnaround time is gonna be an hour and 30 minutes. Right? So about 15 more minutes of walking in one direction. We should get around halfway to our steps. Right? Remember, 10,000 steps is what we're going for. Then we turn around at an hour and 30 minutes. Now that's the game plan. 3 hours of walking, 10 miles. I'm telling you, it doesn't get more clean cut and simple than that. We're making it happen. We're going at a little bit faster of a pace, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this and you're doing this with me, look, go at your own pace. Don't worry about me, because you could always just pause the video. You could always just swipe off and go listen to some music and catch up on your steps. So there is really a bunch of workarounds here. But the main thing is that you just complete the goal. You know what I'm saying? You commit for the next 7 days. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's just 6 days now. You know what I'm saying? And if you're already here and you're putting in the work with me, man, bro, to be 1 day in, 6 days left, and you're just about almost halfway done with today, again, I gotta celebrate you, man. I gotta celebrate you for putting in this work. You are doing something different. You are doing something that most people would rather not do. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to do this. I'm just advocating to walk this because you're gonna start looking so much better. You're gonna start feeling so much better. People are gonna start complimenting you. It's gonna be the subtle changes that make the biggest differences. You're gonna start carrying a healthy habit, the discipline that you get from this. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go home and say, yeah, I put in the work, I walked those steps, and I feel good about it. I'm deserving of this extra calorie burn. I'm deserving of whatever else the universe gives me because you decide to go and put the work in. Let's clap it up, man. I'll give you a chest clap. I'll give you a chest clap. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? If nobody said it today, I'm proud of you. I don't know how much that really means to you, but believe me, you make me very proud. The ones who are watching this video and they're doing this, actually the ones, sometimes people just want to watch just for the commentary. And I absolutely understand that. I love you guys too. And I appreciate you guys for giving me your time of day to hear me yap. I really appreciate that. See, there are plenty of people out here getting their steps in. I'm looking across the street. I see people biking. I see people walking. I see people enjoying the sun. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people live life. That's the thing. When you do this 7-day challenge, you have something that you're going to bring with you for the rest of your life. That's the beauty of this. That is the beauty of this. You're going to be bringing this the rest of your life everywhere you go. This discipline, bro, is lifelong. You're going to commit 7 days. You're going to get something out of it. Look at him. He has wow. Look at him. He's going to have dinner today. Like I said, our situation, wow, hello. Look at them. Oh, he is moving. He's on the move. That is a squirrel on a mission. But yeah. Oh, there's a hangar over there. That's pretty cool. For a plane? Wow. Insane. Like I was saying, you could be in like, I don't know, like Vietnam. You could be in Japan. You could be in Bali for all I know. And you're walking these steps. You know what I'm saying? Now, I enjoy my location. I enjoy this. Some people might even enjoy their location even more. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you are and you're walking these steps, don't forget to take your time and enjoy the little things. And the little things are disguised as everyday things that we just take for granted. The sky, bro, the sky is just a free piece of artwork that is given to you for free every single day, right? You get free artwork every single day. The color of the sky, the color of our atmosphere. This one's nice, deep blue. Man, bro, I always forget, how does the sky get its blue color? I know I've asked that question probably a million times in my lifetime already, especially when I was a lot younger. And the answer somehow just still never sticks. Beautiful. Oh my Lord, guys. There's a trail back there. There is a trail back there. I'm just very ecstatic that whoever is watching this video made it this far. I don't know, man. It just means a lot to me. It's like, wow, you're giving me a chance to be like a person that could positively influence your life. That shit right there means so much to me, man. Because that's my goal, man. Because I really want to be a coach. I really want people to live a better life. Right? And the most underrated tool to live that better life is to just walk more. It's like crazy. And it's like I've been trying to search for deeper meaning in life. And bro, just walking gives so much meaning. And just being able to like share this quality of life with all of you guys, this small habit. I just hope that like all of you guys take this with you and go even further with it. Do even more with it. There's so much beauty in walking. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a city, you could potentially just walk into somebody that could just change your life. That's amazing to think about. That is just amazing to think about. I think I talked about it yesterday, but like, what if you like run into like Jeff Bezos? You guys just strike up a conversation. You guys get some coffee together. Next thing you know, you're on his $1 billion yacht talking about his next biggest come up, or him probably telling you, look, I like you. Let's get you on board. I want you as a chairman. I know that idea just sounds extreme, but like the thing about this world and the way the universe works is that nothing is actually like impossible. Everything is really possible. And the universe likes to give things to you if you just ask for it, if you just believe in it. Your universe ends up giving you what you want. Now, I know that sounds crazy, man, and I'm not here to tell you to wish upon a star, but just try and focus on wanting something, believing that you deserve it, and just being so delusional about it until it actually happens. And then guess what? You're gonna come back here and you're gonna tell me that this guy was not lying. So I'm trying to tell you here, be so delusional about what you want and stick with it. Be delusional every single day about it. And I promise you, this universe is going to give you exactly what you want. You just have to be delusional. You just have to be crazy. It's okay if people don't understand you, because 9 times out of 10, people won't understand you. People are so in their own world that they forget that other people live in their own world as well. Nor do they even pay attention, nor do they even care. And that's okay. It's all about being mindful, right? Be mindful that everybody else lives a completely different life compared to you. And be accepting that that is the reality. And be accepting of the fact that people just won't understand things the way that you understand it. and you won't understand things the way that they understand it. There's a huge difference, right? There is just a huge difference. And even then, like, I had to remind myself that that is the truth. Because sometimes I want people to understand me. I want people to understand me right now, but that's just not how it works. Practice being mindful. Practice being open. Practice listening to the way people, have a perspective on things. You'll end up learning a thing or two from other people's perspective. Talk to people. One of my good friends, he's a Buddhist, and he loves to hear about other people's perspective. And he takes all these perspectives and creates his own perspective that's just a combination of all his experiences. And it's just beautiful. He takes the good ones, he filters out the bad ones, and he makes his own beautiful reality that he enjoys to live in. Now that takes time to do. It takes a good set of ears too. It takes a really good open mind to do that as well. But it's not to say that it's impossible. It's very well doable. It's just like, will you pay that attention? Because you got to pay with something, right? So we have to pay with our attention, our time and attention. How you doing? That guy was cool. That guy was really cool. He had a really nice outfit, had a really cool bike, had some music flowing on the bike. All these people with these electric bikes, they're doing something. They're doing something right. Having music on the go. Maybe I might have like some subtle background music on this video. I don't know. Depends. It's like, does the audience want that? Does the audience want subtle background music? Or do they want to hear the rawness of this video? Alrighty. We're about an hour and 30 minutes. We're going to turn around here. This is the perfect turnaround point. I'm pretty happy. We're not too far. See, that's the thing. I think I spent like 24 minutes walking in that like little hotel resort thing that we were just at. And I spent a little bit of time there, right? But here's the thing. At that light all the way down there, and if I was to make a right turn at the light, we would have been at Disney Springs, right? And maybe we probably wouldn't have enough time to walk around because the step challenge is 20K, but we would have made it. I probably would have gave you guys a quick run around. But hey, there's always tomorrow. There's always another day. It's best not to rush things. That's the big thing. Let's practice delayed gratification. Because sometimes the best thing in life comes later. So our body, we're only doing this for 7 days. But I'm sorry, I'm clearing my throat. I hope you guys take this and continue to do it past 7 days. I hope that this integrates into one of your habits. And I hope you guys look back and remember this video chat that we're doing together, because I don't want you to do it alone. If you are watching this far and this deep, I'm doing this with you. I'm working this core with you too. I'm sweating. I'm putting in the work with you. You're not doing this alone. We're doing this together, keeping each other company. Small things like that are beautiful. The older I get, the more days I live, the more appreciative I tend to become for the interactions that I do have in my life currently. Because remember, all good things don't last forever. You know what I mean? So take the time to appreciate the people that give you their time, their attention, their energy. Because you just never know. One day they just might go. Maybe you might go. And you just never know. That was the last memory you spent with said person. So move gracefully, right? Appreciate everyone. Appreciate the time people give you. When you're younger, you kind of like take everything for granted. But I'm just 25 and I'm just starting to realize that, man, our parents are not going to be here forever. The people we love, that we think that we love, but I think we do truly love, but they don't love us the way that they want to love us back. Appreciate the times that those people gave you. I know that's a crazy one that I just said, but there are some people I definitely have loved that I think probably didn't like me the way I like them, but nonetheless, I still appreciate the time that they gave me. Promise you. When you start to be more grateful for everything that, you have in your life, I think your life just becomes richer that way. I think there's richness in being grateful for the smallest things in your life. You could have so little, but if you're grateful for everything that you have, I think you can live a richer life than somebody with everything. Obviously, I don't know. I'm only 25. I don't really have that wisdom. But it just sounds and it feels a little bit true. And am I going to trust my gut on this one? I mean, I told it to you, so I possibly trust it. I think I definitely trust it. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for this walk. I'm grateful for breathing this clean air. That's also another thing. There's a lot of places that don't have really clean air. It's pollution. You know what I'm saying? People are breathing in air that could, affect them, that could hurt them. So even be grateful for the air that you're breathing. Some people might live next to a sewer. I'm not talking about the Mutant Ninja Turtles, but some people might live next to a sewer. They have their house. They probably spent a whole life saving up for that house, and the smell of a sewer system not working appropriately and the smell leaking out. You know what I'm saying? It's a very niche, very specific scenario, but dude, somebody's out there living next to a sewer that smells. And then the air quality isn't the best. So be appreciative of the air that you are fortunate enough to breathe. It makes you look at going outside a whole lot different. Let's go ahead and look at the trail in front of us. Yeah, man. An hour and 32 minutes into this walk. Feeling great. The abs are working. I'm gonna always remind you that the abs work. When you have your legs and your abs working in harmony, these walks just become a lot more efficient, a lot more easier on your body, on your mind. Also, I have like this swing going on with my arm right here. It just helps with like pacing too. Keeps the pace feeling nice, feeling good, feeling manageable. Now, everybody else has a different pace. I think my pace is pretty fast. I walk next to my mom and I can absolutely see that my strides, my tempo is just a lot faster than the everyday person. But I do have friends that work in a warehouse, and because the warehouse is kind of demanding, my warehouse friends are taking 10K, 15, 20K steps every single day. So if you can get your steps in at your job, that's more power to you. There are people that can actually keep up, if not a little bit faster than me, which is crazy. Because sometimes I like to push, and I like to go up to 40,000 steps, 30,000 steps. I love to do that. But then I'll hang out with those warehouse friends, and guess what? Us walking, they might be just a little bit faster than me, and it goes and it surprises me. It's like, wow. It's just because they walk this every day for their job. They build up that aerobic base that just happens to be faster than mine. Now, if you remember anything about yesterday, I'm a competitive person. And that blows my mind. Even the simplest things I like to compete in. Even walking. If walking was a competitive sport, sign me up. Pretty sure somewhere in this world there is. It would be really cool though, going to like Italy and getting one of those Vespas and taking a little ride around. Man, that would be so cool. That would be amazing. The pictures I would take, I would put them all on the fridge as a reminder. As a reminder that I've been there, I've done that. And I'm very happy because my mom keeps a lot of the photos that we have. My dad also keeps a lot of the photos that we have. Now, there's memories scattered amongst all my family members. Wow. Another thing is take more pictures. Give yourself reasons to look back, be happy, and smile. Capture the moments. Especially if you're young. All right? Take as many pictures as you can. You know what I'm saying? Keep stocking up the photo album. You know, you're gonna have more candy to look back in the past. Or if you're a person that doesn't really take a lot of pictures now, start taking a lot of pictures. If you're camera shy, get over that fear. You're only young once in your life. So get behind that camera, throw up a nice little smile. I think it looks perfect. I think it looks perfect. Your smile is unique to you. You need to show the world your smile. There's nothing wrong with a smile that you think doesn't look good, because what you think doesn't look good, another person might think it looks adorable, cute. You just don't know. This world has a million perspectives. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live behind your own perspective. Gather data. If you don't have data, you have nothing. Gather perspectives. Try and talk to people. Try and acknowledge people. Today's lessons. We were talking about earlier, acknowledging people. You just never know. The next person you might acknowledge might become your best friend. Isn't that crazy? Just saying hello can start something so much bigger than you could ever comprehend. That is insane to even think about. I'm just thinking about the content that I'm like talking to you guys about. And everybody has their own way of delivering content. You know, everybody finds their audience. You know, I think my audience is probably going to be all over the place. I love my fitness. I love talking, you know, wisdom. I love talking about experience. I love people that just like to listen to yap. Because this, by definition, is yap. On and on. I'm really trailing on no thought. It's just continuous brainwaves being spoken to you while we complete this 20,000 steps. And believe me, if you were here in person, the responses that you would give me would 100% change the trajectory of these conversations. We probably might be talking about a completely different topic now. Maybe one of the topics that we mentioned within the first hour still to this point in this walk. So that just goes to show you that my mind in particular jumps all over the place. I don't know who else is like that. I don't know which one of you guys are like that, you know, but for me it's really hard to just stay on one topic. I kind of jump all over the place. Maybe that might show you a little bit of like how chaotic my mind is, but in general I really just like to talk about whatever's on the top of my head. And I guess as I continue to record, there's a million and one things on my head that I want to talk about. And I feel like these walks, I don't have enough time to talk about everything. But man, what I think it would be cool to have somebody right here walking with me so we could be bouncing off ideas, concepts, conversations on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that I don't have friends. I got a couple. Am I in contact with them as often? No. Everybody lives their own life. You know, I'm definitely a person that wants to be around people, but because of the circumstance, because of the person I am just here right now talking to you guys. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather be sitting here talking to you guys, because obviously you guys, if you guys have made it this far, you guys are so damn important. You guys are amazing. That's the thing about life. It's like, I hope when I get older, Or I hope as I progress through my journey creating this content, I come across amazing people. And I hope that I am deserving of having those amazing conversations with those people for prolonged periods of time and creating continuous friendships and relationships. Like, I want to advance more than just what you see now. I am, in true heart, a social butterfly. At least I like to tell myself that. I want to talk to other people. I want to break out of my shell. I want to become a master of communication. I think that would be so cool. To be able to talk, make meaningful connections, be able to just have good friends, good people. Like, you don't have to be in a relationship with everybody, you know what I'm saying? But just to have good company, good conversations, that's more than enough. But in order to be a person that is a great conversationalist, one of the key aspects is, I believe, you need to have a good amount of experience doing things, right? And those experiences, they come from all the solo things that you do in your life. So, if I'm going to be talking to any of the future people I want to talk to, I need to make sure I go out and I do some spectacular things, right? So I'm starting here. I'm starting here on a clean slate, and I'm just going to try and become that person that I am trying to become. The social butterfly, the person that likes to travel, the person that likes to walk and talk, the yap and talk, the person that likes to inspire other people to go out and walk, the person that motivates you to get up out of bed and go get your steps in, the person that you could lean on to get some motivation in the morning, get up and go, turn on your engine and just fry the day up. If I could spark you to do more with your life, my Lord, I am happy with the trajectory of my life if I am able to do that. Some people need to get distracted in order to do some productive things. And by distracted, they just need to hear a noise. So if people need to just hear me yap just to get going, hey, I'm happy I'm the person you decide to tune into and listen to. I don't sing, so I'm not like no radio station, but I do like to fill the air so that silence doesn't cover the air. Even though silence is good. You know what I'm saying? Some people prefer silence. I like silence. I've already been through a lot of it, but do I want to continue? Nah. I like filling the air with noise. I like seeing reactions. I like making people feel things. That's just a part of life. And I hope I could continue to make people feel things. Motivation, happiness, joy, sadness. Nah, JK. I don't want you to feel sad. But, like, I want to tap all instances of the emotional spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get busy. There's a lot of things I got to learn how to do. I'm only 25. You know what I'm saying? I want to live this life the best I can. I want to take people along with me. I want to inspire people. I want people to move. I want people to live longer, right? So people that live longer generally do what we're doing right now. They're just walking. They're breathing. They're living. They're using their heart. You know, I'm not no science expert, but I believe that if you're like sedentary, you know, I don't think that's really good for your health. You know what I'm saying? The more you utilize your heart, the stronger it gets. So I'm going off those bases. So I don't really know too much. How you doing, guys? Working on acknowledging people. You know, every time I say hello is a small victory for me. It's a small victories that compound that add up to the big wins. So that's another thing. Small victories. Let's go ahead and see if the camera's on. Oh, look, IHOP. Look at the smiley face. Look at that. Really nice. The small victories add up. Your small victories are meaningful. Get as many small victories as you can, and they will grow you significantly over time. I need to probably make my bed a lot more. That's a small victory you could start your day off with. It's also like the easiest victory you can get. I'm guilty of not doing it all the time. I do it once in a blue moon. Bad habit of mine. But I found my victories in getting up and out that door and marching these steps and turning on this camera and talking to you guys and making sure that you guys are getting your steps in. Like I'm getting my wins in my own way that I think. But obviously, there's always room for improvement in everything that you do. And you can improve on every single thing, every aspect of your life. You could get better, 1% better, every single day. It doesn't matter what you choose to get 1% better at. But remember, all of this is compound, right? We're practicing delayed gratification. This 1% compounded over a year is 365% of an increase that you'll be able to face. Now that's exciting, man. I'm telling you. It's really, really exciting. To know that 365 days from now, whatever I chose to put 1% in, you don't even know what that looks like until you complete the 365 days of being 1% better. Now, if that isn't exciting, if that doesn't get you to wake up and be excited for the next day, well, it's okay. Because your perspective can be completely different from mine. The things that you're grateful for, the things that get you up and excited, are definitely going to be completely different from mine. And I'm open and I'm accepting of that idea. I'm absolutely welcome to it. And that's a beauty, one of the beauties of this beautiful life, is that we get to learn what gets other people going. We get to learn what makes another spirit get up and move. That's exciting, right? Now, if like you're a person that's like a real empathetic person, you enjoy feeling what other people feel, you know, the good, the sad, the bad, the joy, the happiness, the laughter. If you're one of those empathetic people, and I think women are actually amazing at being empathetic creatures. Like I know men are logical, women are empathetic, right? So they feel first, right? And then they speak. Us guys, we think and then we speak. And that's the problem, right? There's a difference between us men and us and the women, right? And we need to understand that there is a difference in the way that we go about life, right? Women feel everything. Right? I've already made the mistake too many times. I've made the mistake too many times where I thought logically and I responded. Right? And that's incorrect, right? And that leads you to clash with especially people that you love, right? So learn from my mistake. Women feel everything that you say, right? Cater to that. Cater to them, especially if you love them. Cater to that feeling, because I don't want you guys to go through loss, right? Learn that lesson. I think it's Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Read that book. You'll learn to accept the essential difference between men and women. Once you get that, you'll get one step closer at being a better communicator. And for me, I have that book saved. I've only been like 12, 15 pages in, but man, it's something that I have to continue reading. But yeah, my past relationships, I definitely was negligent about the fact that women just feel things and men just think and respond in logical ways. And women expect men to feel and respond back. So for you women out there, we are dumbasses. We just think and we respond. We don't really put too much feeling behind it. Now when both sides understand that and they respect that difference, you just become an overall better communicator with the opposite sex. So that's why it's easy for guys to get along with guys, and it's easy for women to get along with women, because other women feel and then respond to each other. And women get a really good kick out of feeling. They have like they get a really good kick out of feeling mutually that, you know, they have good shared experiences, and they can feel those emotions together, like, and then that's how they click, right? And possibly a woman could click with a guy if that guy feels on the same terms that the woman feels, and then the girl might go, oh wow, this guy gets me, he feels with me. But maybe I'm just talking out my ass. I don't really have too much experience. My experience, honestly, like, I've just messed up so many times, and I've let my emotions get the best of me. All right, and when you're an emotional man, you're a dangerous man. All right, so for you guys out there, go on these walks. All right, they let you think about the things that you've done. All right, because there are a lot of relationships that I wish I had to this day, you know. But every relationship is a lesson, right? And especially the ones that you love the most, you know, they leave, right? They leave. They are lessons, right? And it's up to you to walk into the future with those lessons that you've learned from and operate better. Just be a better communicator. Be more mindful. Be more loving, especially with the people that you love. I definitely wish I could go back and get some of the relationships. One in particular too. But maybe sometimes the damage is too much and you need space. Space is the best healer of anything. So I'm just not ready to go back, and nor do I even think that they're ready for me to ever come back. So I'll move forward. I'll 100% move forward. So there's beauty in the pain that we all feel. There is a lot of beauty in the pain that we feel. Well, the thing about it is, don't feel like your life is like coming into an all-time low because you lose the ones that you love, right? And I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about the relationships where you love someone, or maybe I just might be speaking for me, but the relationships where you love somebody and things just don't work out. For some people, that could stunt your personal growth and development. And if you don't bounce back from that, that can last for years, right? And what's something that you don't get back is your time. You know what I mean? It's the time that you spend on this earth, right? So the longer that you're in those slumps, that you're down in the dumps, that's less time that you could be developing, right? And guys, we get like this. We get into those slumps and we end up stuck in those slumps for a long time, right? And a lot of time passes. What happens to us? Well, we age. We probably grow a little bit older. We look, because we're stressing about something that are no longer in our hands. Yeah, so that contributes to aging, because stress and cortisol. So the quicker that we're able to bounce back, you know, and get back on our toes and get back to being productive, that is such a huge thing to think about when you're thinking about relationships, you know, because everybody takes things differently, right? So I'm speaking for the guys that, you know, just can't control their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And I wish you the best of luck on developing better self-control. And my goal on these walks are also to teach you to take the time to give yourself some therapy, give yourself some fresh air. Think about the things that you do. Think about how it affects the other person. Put yourself in them shoes. I just want you to be more empathetic, right? Be empathetic with every single person you come across, because your emotions cannot justify your actions, right? Man and woman, we're put on this planet. We're here to inhabit this earth. Let's be loving to each other the first time, right? If you're in a serious relationship, if you're married with kids, you know, that development between you two gets so complex, but you cannot forget to nurture it every single day. You can't, right? Put in the elbow work, right? That's your partner for life. You know what I'm saying? Be there. Be more than there. Be the reason why they can't fall out of love with you, you know. Go above and beyond. If you love somebody in this life, and put them on top of the world. Live for them. Do everything for them. I don't care if people would say that, like, that's like simp activities, but I'd rather live a life filled with abundance, joy, love, and laughter. All right? So this solitude that I'm putting myself through, going on these walks, talking to myself, talking to this camera, is also like a reflection of like things that I could have done better, and I am going to continue to work on and be better in my own personal life, right? So you learn off of experience, right? You can speed up your learning process by learning other people's perspectives. You know, until you're in the same exact situation, then, you know, the way you respond to it is completely on your own behalf. But having an outside perspective can help you accelerate your way of learning. Like, therapy is amazing, bro. Like, I can't keep stressing it, but therapy is amazing. Hearing what other people think of, you know what I'm saying? It just gives you a better idea of how you could be a people's person, a better communicator. Because remember, our perspective is not always going to be the right perspective. In fact, when you're naive, it usually almost always isn't the right thing to do. Your perspective isn't always right, you know, isn't always fine-tuned. Take the time to work on yourself now, put in the steps now, so that the person that you meet in the future, or your loved one now, can see that you're developing. And if you haven't found that person yet, be the best possible version of yourself now. Love yourself unconditionally now, so that when you do meet that person, you can give them the correct, most unconditional love that you could give. And yeah, it might be boring, it might be lonely, but I think the end payoff is much more valuable than the instant gratification that you get by going out, meeting somebody, and just giving them a half-assed version of who you are. I know we don't want to do that. I know we definitely don't want to do that. But for some people that are okay with bouncing around, like, I know hookup culture is a thing. I just particularly I don't put myself through hookup culture. I just don't do it. I find no joy in it. I don't find no thrill of the chase, stability. But here's the thing. I just want to become the person that, you know, my significant other can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? They can appreciate my drive. They can appreciate the person I am. I want to be a leader. You know, I don't want to be weak. You know, that's the thing. When I entered a lot of the relationships that I had in my life, I entered them kind of just being super dependent on them, which is kind of incorrect. That's not the right way to go. You know what I'm saying? You have to be happy on your own. You have to be happy in your own life before you can go and jump in somebody else's life. Women are going to have a lot more options. As a man, take the time to make yourself a high quality man, so you can give a high quality life to the person that you choose. Don't worry about the opposite sex and their options. Don't worry about it. Become the best possible version that you can, man. And I know it sounds corny, but it's just what you have to do. If you want to live a good life, work on everything. Build your life up from the ground up. Your body is only one component. Your body is only one component, right? You can get smarter. You can get better at communicating. You know, you can become a better nurturer. and you can get a better paying job. You can become an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? There's so many routes that you could take, and I don't even know them all. I don't. You know, I just want to open your mind up, because definitely older people could give me more wisdom on like what different paths to take. Me, I'm still trying to figure out. I'm 25. I don't really have a particular direction in life. I just enjoy being kind of like a mentor. I enjoy being like a coach of some sort. I enjoy boosting people's moods. I enjoy being around people that like to be social. I enjoy people that like to have a good time. I want to live this life thoroughly. But all those people that I'm meeting, like, I want to give them my best foot. I want to give them a good impression. I want to let them know that, like, hey, it's safe to be around me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to let them know that, you know, let's have good memories. Let's make good memories together. Let's develop each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's develop a nice community. You know, let's take our time with it. You know, things that are rushed, they just never pan out to what they really could be. And I made that mistake too many times. I rushed into too many things. And it leaves the person with the underdeveloped lifestyle in a series of pain, right? So pain, man, pain is a great motivator, a great motivator of change. These steps, man, every step you take is you actively trying to make that better change. It really is. You're stepping quite literally into the future, which is beautiful, right? I don't know what you guys are going through, but keep going forward. Even though you can't see the path in front of you, keep going forward. That will change the trajectory of your life. You will become a better person. You will become a more thankful person. You will become a person that people want to be around. You don't have to envy others. You don't. You don't have to harbor feelings of negativity inside you. You know, you just need to put in the work. I know life can be a lot. And what do I know? I think I live a pretty blessed life. I'm very grateful for the things I have. But I know there's a lot of people out there that live a tough life. I just need you to continue being strong and to continue walking forward. And I know it's gonna hurt. I definitely know it's gonna hurt. And people would tell me how unfair this life is. But keep going forward. Keep taking the step forward. Keep progressing. Don't stop. Because your future is waiting for you to become the person that you need to be. So keep walking towards your future. Or run if you want to. Everybody has their own trajectory in life. I want to put you on a path and help you build the discipline to get to that better tomorrow. To make sure that you don't have any more bad days. To make sure that you can control the outcome of days. Because you can't control everything. You have to be detached from the things that you can't control. Be attached to the things you can't control. So if you can control the way that you think, you're already moving in the right direction. If you can control your body and how it looks and how it functions, you're moving in the right direction. If you can control how you treat others, you're moving the right direction. These are all things that I'm speaking to you guys about that I actively want to do. I actively am trying to get to that person. And I know my future me is waiting. And I know if I keep going, I'll become that person. I'll become that really strong person that I so greatly want to be. One step at a time. I don't care how many steps. It could be 1 billion steps. But I will walk the path. I'll walk it with you guys. Those who choose to walk with me. I have only room for love, joy, happiness. If you need someone to talk to, dude, shoot me a text. If you need help, if you need assurance, you know, don't be afraid to reach out. That's the thing. Some people never reach out. Some people never reach out. But if you're going through something tough in your life and you need support, reach out. I will be that person to help you. I'll be that person to listen to you. I'm just telling you guys from the bottom of my heart, that's genuinely what I want to do in this life. I want to help people get out of whatever situation and feel stronger. You know, I want to help people like that. You have to really sit and listen through this entire yap that I had in order to get to this point of the conversation. I don't know how many people are actually gonna get to this point. I don't. But genuinely, man, I want to see people win. I don't see malice. I see no malice in people. I see pain and struggle, right? I see how that affects how people act, you know. I believe that everybody has genuinely a good heart. No one's born in this world being a hateful person. It's just the experience affects people. Some people have shitty upbringing. Some people are around shitty circumstances, you know. And you could tell how a person is, or I don't even know how to explain this, but there was a cop that passed by me, and that kind of like threw me off for a little bit, because I'm right next to a highway patrol. There's like 3-4 of them, but you really never know what somebody's really going through. You really never know. And it's only until I gotten older that I started to become more empathetic, right? It started in my relationships too, because I was not empathetic in my relationships. I was only caring about my needs, and I was a demanding person, even though I kind of contributed nothing. You know, I kind of sucked. And I refuse to be that same person. I refuse it. I will walk 1,000,000 miles before I ever become that person ever again. So this is for a better tomorrow. This is absolutely for a better tomorrow. And if I can impact the kids starting early, that would be even better. Some people don't know when they need help. I didn't really know when I needed help. But man, is it important to ask people. And man, is it important to be mindful. Sometimes people don't want to open up, which is completely fine. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you extend that hand out, and as long as they know that that hand was there, and if you were the person to extend that hand out, you know, I'm pretty sure you're going to be one of those core memories for that person. Like, oh, somebody reached out. Somebody actually did try to help. You know, it's one small change like that. It's one small gesture like that that can have a butterfly effect in people's lives. Let me tell you. Like an example, like if you get complimented, right? If you had like a pretty shit day, right? And somebody compliments you like in the second half of the day, that could change the trajectory of how you perceive the rest of the day. You might go from a bad mood to being in a great mood. Let's go ahead real quick. Sweat check. I think it's drying up. I didn't really drink that much water. Let's go ahead and drink some water now. That was amazing. I can tell you, I don't really drink that much water because That was like one water bottle right now. That was just one water bottle. I could not believe it. But it's just because like the weather was good today. It wasn't so hot that I had to go and drink a lot of water. So I can't complain about that. Very nice. You know what's funny about these thumbnails that I generated? They're actually from ChatGPT. So the thumbnail of the videos that I'm going to be posting, it may look like me from afar, but they're actually not me, right? So ChatGPT takes the AI image, or it takes my image and turns it into AI image, which is so cool. I have ChatGPT, like the pro version. It's like $20 a month, and my dad pays for it. So, you know, thank you, Dad. And if you're watching this, I'm surprised that you're watching this too. You're the one that told me to do this. Thank you for paying for it. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It helps me give out content like this. Exactly what you told me to do. I'm doing it. But yeah, you give it to ChatGPT, give a picture of yourself, and it creates an AI version of you, which is really cool because I suck at editing. Even though there's a lot of clips I have personally edited, like a lot of my shorts, I've worked with ChatGPT to edit. I'm talking about I did put in a good amount of effort into editing a lot of the videos, but like a lot of the cool effects, like the drawings and stuff like that, like they are generated by me telling ChatGPT specific prompts. So ChatGPT will help your content creation if that is the way that you're trying to go. The more you conversate with ChatGPT, the more ChatGPT knows how you work, how you function, how you want things. So every conversation that you have with ChatGPT, it helps it perform better in everything that you ask it to do. That's really significant in the long run, because the longer you develop the relationship, the more first tries you can create things with prompts, and you get exactly what you're asking for on the first try. Sometimes when I'm developing like an 8-second like short, it takes like 4 to 5 hours just to create an 8-second video. I know that sounds like too hard to believe, but like I gotta run. I know it sounds too hard to believe, but that's just how AI is. It's not perfect, but it definitely streamlines a lot of the things that, you know, you're working on. Yeah. We're just now getting back. I walked really fast on this journey. This is probably my top speed. I'm pretty sure once this video ends, I'll probably be around like 20,000 steps. This is all raw footage, so I am not going to be doing edits on this one because I just wanted to upload it all in one shot. You know what I mean? So whenever this video ends, you guys can end your walk. Or some of you probably could have walked faster than I did. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are one of those speed demons, you guys are probably finished with the walk by now, and you're not watching the video anymore. But for some of you that just enjoy the conversation and you're still walking, take your time. There's absolutely no rush. The world is in your hands. You know what I mean? The world is absolutely in your hands. This is just really good work. This is amazing work. Walking is so underrated. I cannot begin to tell you all over again how powerful and amazing walking is. Because you just feel good. I'm going to be feeling good for the rest of the day. Right? So remember, if you are following along true to this challenge, the hack of the day: cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla extract. Let me tell you, you will be eating significantly low calories, very significantly low calories, and then getting an ample amount of protein, which means you'll maintain your muscle mass. So let's go ahead and spam that. I know my mom is coming home with some cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. She goes to Aldi's. Aldi's sells everything very, very cheap. So a couple dollars, like $5-6, and you have some cottage cheese, you have some non-fat Greek yogurt, dude, you're good to go. You're solid, I promise you. Keep spamming that, all right? It's only for the people that are like able to be super restrictive and they don't mind just having those 2 items on them. Like this is like if you want to get to your dream shape as fast as possible, you spam the cottage cheese and the Greek yogurt. You know what I'm saying? Just because the 2 by itself, you know, you kind of gotta get like a bland taste. You know what I'm saying? I like cottage cheese, so it's easy for me to just eat that without anything. I could honestly just eat it straight out the tub. And I know like my family looks at me and they're just like, ew. But I just look at them and I tell them, you don't really know what you're missing out on. This is casein protein. And then I'll tell them that and they'll be like, what the heck is that? And then I'll tell them exactly what it is and they'll be like, you're ridiculous. Story of my life. Who can relate? I definitely want to go to like Vietnam and to go walk around in Vietnam, to go talk to the very nice people over there, try and have conversations because I don't speak a lick of Vietnamese. Like, I would be in tears the day I would ever be fortunate enough to go to Vietnam. It's just because I hear they're really nice people. Play some soccer over there, play with the kids, see if they play basketball. That would be crazy. Yeah, I gotta see how they play basketball. I know they don't use the American basketball. I think they might use the European basketball over there. I don't know. I actually don't know. But there could be some hoopers over there. And they might be my size too. Who knows? But hey, I'll go over there, I'll get buckets too. I will get buckets, I promise you that. Imagine traveling and getting sauced up over there. Man, then I'm just gonna have to give up my shoes there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure they don't want these shoes. These shoes are beat. These shoes are beat. But they work. That's the thing about it. These shoes work. This is the trail. It's beautiful, man. Blue skies. Look at that gray cloud over there. Why is that one so gray? Oh, snap. Hello. There's a gray over there too. But look at this, man. Take a moment to appreciate this. Right? Imagine being like a caveman. Well, don't imagine that, because I think they had a tough time living. Imagine having to deal with dinosaurs. That would just be crazy. Imagine trying to get your steps in when there's dinosaurs walking around. Honestly, if I was a caveman, I'd probably walk with my tail between my legs. But I think I would try and figure out a way how to get my steps in. Those steps might turn into sprints. Who knows? I might be a better athlete as a caveman. Telling me I had to actively evade dinosaur activity. I'll probably pick up trying to learn how to put camouflage on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll probably find like tar and stuff like that. I don't really know how to make camouflage. But like, yeah, how would you go about that? I don't know, you guys tell me. How would you evade dinosaurs? Maybe they can smell you. Imagine the dinosaurs like super hungry. They didn't eat all day, right? They could just smell the protein on you. But being a dinosaur, man, I can't even imagine. You need to have an a huge protein intake. All right. So if you're a dinosaur that is like the vegetarian dinosaurs, you're always on the menu for more aggressive carnivore based dinosaurs. So I don't know, man. If I was one of those vegetarian dinosaurs, I'd probably become an omnivore. There are like those super tall dinosaurs. I don't really know the name. Is it Stegosaurus? I don't know. See, I just said a random one because I went to Disney and they mentioned that. I know pterodactyl. I know T-Rex. You know what I'm saying? I know Velociraptor. I know Bronchiosaurus. I know. Wow, I guess my dinosaur knowledge is very limited. It's not a topic I talk about every day. I don't really talk about dinosaurs, period. As a matter of fact, I think this is probably the first conversation ever since like middle school where I talk about dinosaurs. So bringing up the names are kind of ancient to me. Wow, the things that we talked about on this trip, that's day 2 right there. See, the goal is to get this all out on the one clip. All right, so this video will probably come out tonight, like 4, 5, 6 hours. I can't tell you, all right, because it also depends on the amount of people that are in the house. Because if there's a lot of people in my house, then the download speed like slows down. All right, but right now it's just me, my mom, my sister, and my dad. All right, so if they're watching movies, this might take a little bit more time to upload. But if no one's home right now, or if one person's home, I think this video can go up in like 3 to 4 hours. I think it could. You know, fingers crossed, because sometimes my internet likes to just take a dump on itself. That is just my luck. All right, and sometimes the upload process gets paused, right? And let's say I go to sleep, right? So if I go to sleep and the upload is paused, then you're gonna have to kind of wait for a little bit until I wake up and I go and restart the process. It might take a little bit of time. So hopefully this video gets out quickly in one shot. I did follow up. This is day 2. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday we started at 3. We ended at like 7. 3 p.m. We ended at 7 p.m. Today I walked pretty fast. The video length is 2 hours and 22 minutes. I'm almost sure that we hit our goal because of the speed that we're walking on. I'm talking about, we had the jet boosters on today. Today was a great day. I know we're walking fast because I feel a slight strain. Now, it's nothing too crazy, but it's like I just know when I'm putting my legs in overdrive. You know what I'm saying? I kept my pace here. And let me tell you, your arm swing helps with keeping your pace. You know, that's one thing I picked up from track. Your legs will move as fast as your arms can move. True story. So we would train on our hand speed. It's like you have fast twitch and slow twitch muscles, right? So training them, you know, slow twitch muscles, you train them probably on like exercises like this, like just walking regularly. I think that trains a good amount of your slow twitch muscle. But like for fast twitch muscles, I remember like we would be on the basic blocks, which are the little things that the sprinters put their feet on. They get ready at the line, 3, 2, 1, go. The gun goes off, and then boom, you're running the race. So we would train on those blocks. We would run like 30 meters, right? We would continue doing that over and over and over again, right? And then we'll also run like 200 meter sprints, 400 meter sprints. Like if your event was 100 meters, you're running the 200 meter, right? And like you're probably thinking like, oh, why would I want to run an event longer? Because it just trains you to have the endurance to complete the 100 meters more efficiently, right? Now, I could see if you argue that if you're a 100 runner and then your coach wants you to do a 400 meter run, okay, I could see how you could complain there, but like doubling the distance shouldn't be too bad. 200 meters, no, if anything, it just makes you a overall better sprinter. We are ending the walk. I have basically arrived home. Mom is home. This was a great walk, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so just remember, I'm proud of you for sticking this through. Great jobs on completing your 20,000 steps. We did it together. You listened to me yap. I appreciate you. I'm very proud of you. Let's go ahead and roll into tomorrow. Alrighty, guys? Thank you for tagging along. Peace.